Most people talk too much. They announce their plans before they've even earned them. They post the vision before they build the discipline. They chase attention instead of progress. But if you want a real transformation, the kind that changes your life for good, you don't do it loudly. You do it in silence, because silence is where power is built, not in conversations, not in opinions, not in validation, in silence. The truth is, your next level doesn't need an audience. It needs consistency. It needs sacrifice. It needs days when no one sees your effort and you still show up, because this is what separates the weak from the unstoppable. Weak people need applause. Strong people need results. And results are created when nobody's watching. You grow in silence. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop trying to convince people. You stop arguing about your future. You stop defending your goals like they're a debate. You just work quietly, relentlessly, every day. Because when you're building something real, you don't need to announce it. You let the outcome speak. The reason growing in silence is so powerful is because it protects your energy. The moment you tell people your plans, you expose your vision to their doubts, to their opinions, to their negativity, to their limitations. And most people don't doubt you because they know you can't do it. They doubt you because they're terrified that you might, because your growth reminds them of what they never had the discipline to become. So they criticize, they laugh, they downplay it, not because your dream is unrealistic, but because your courage makes their excuses look weak. That's why you grow in silence, because silence protects your focus, and focus is everything. When you grow in silence, you stop wasting time trying to look powerful. And you start becoming powerful. You stop performing success, and you start building success. You stop chasing attention, and you start chasing mastery. Because the truth is, the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards execution. It rewards the one who shows up when it's boring, the one who stays consistent when it's not exciting, the one who keeps going even when the motivation is dead. That's the warrior mindset. That's Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius didn't build his strength in comfort. He built it in responsibility, in pressure, in solitude, in discipline, in quiet. And if you want to become unstoppable, you have to do the same. You have to become comfortable being alone, comfortable not being understood, comfortable not being supported. Because the moment you stop needing people, you become free. You stop needing approval. You stop needing permission. You stop needing validation. And that's where real growth begins. Growth is not loud. Growth is private. It's waking up early when nobody cares. It's staying disciplined when nobody claps. It's training your body and your mind in the dark. It's saying no when everybody else is partying. It's working on yourself while the world is distracted. That's what growing in silence looks like. And at first, it feels lonely because most people are addicted to being seen. But your best version is built in isolation. Your best version is built when you stop talking and start becoming. So, if you're in a season where nobody understands you, good. If you feel like you're doing everything alone, good. If you feel like your progress is invisible, good. Because you're in the perfect place to evolve. This is where legends are made, not in comfort, not in attention, in silence. So stop announcing. Stop posting your plans. Stop asking for opinions. Stop begging for support. Just show up. Quietly, build your discipline. Build your routine. Build your mind. And let the world notice later. Because the strongest move you can make is to disappear while you improve and come back undeniable. The world is full of noise. people are constantly chasing after applause, attention, validation. They're constantly seeking approval for their every move. And as they do, they waste their energy on the wrong things. The key to true growth is learning to ignore the distractions. You cannot afford to be distracted by external validation. External approval only serves to weaken your inner focus, your inner strength. Why? Because the moment you start seeking recognition, you've already given up control. You've chosen to measure your progress based on others' perceptions instead of your own standards. And once you allow that, you begin comparing yourself to others, chasing their applause instead of building your own foundation. What if you stopped seeking attention and approval? What if you started working on your vision in the quiet of your own space without worrying about the opinions or reactions of others? This is what separates the greats from the crowd. The greats don't need the applause to keep going. They don't need the world to tell them they're on the right track. They trust the process. They trust that growth happens in silence, in the moments when nobody's watching, when no one knows the work that's being put in. Imagine the hours spent writing, creating, developing, training, planning, all in the dark. No likes, no comments, no feedback. But that's where you build the real strength. When you're not dependent on external noise, you're free to focus on what truly matters, your development. The most powerful people in history never shared every step of their journey. They didn't broadcast their intentions or ask for permission. They simply showed up day after day and let their work speak for itself. Their success wasn't built on external validation, but on their own conviction and quiet, consistent work. The unseen work is the most important. Every step you take in the shadows is the foundation for your future. The work you do when no one is looking, when you're not trying to impress anyone, lays the groundwork for your greatest successes. No one sees the early mornings when you push through fatigue to complete a task. No one sees the hours you dedicate to improving yourself when you're tired, when no one's watching, when it's inconvenient. No one sees the moments of doubt when you choose to keep going despite uncertainty. But it's these moments, these quiet acts of resilience, that will define your greatness. The silence is where you build discipline. It's where you find your true self. It's where you confront your fears and doubts, not by speaking about them, but by acting despite them. It's where your deepest strength is forged, not in the moments of applause, but in the moments of struggle, when you have no choice but to rely on yourself. The loudest successes are often the quietest. When you think of the most successful people in the world, you'll find a common thread. Their true power was never loud. People like Marcus Aurelius, who led an empire, spent much of his time in solitude, reflecting, learning, and becoming stronger. He knew that true success required inward focus, that it required silence. Even the greatest entrepreneurs and innovators of today often spend long hours behind closed doors in the quiet of their own offices or studios, creating, refining, and pushing boundaries. They didn't get there by sharing their plans with the world before they even began. They got there by being quietly relentless in their pursuit of greatness. This is the lesson of Stoicism. Your peace, your growth, and your success are cultivated in silence. In a world that craves constant noise, those who choose quiet build a strength that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. Their focus is not fractured by distractions. It's laser-focused on the actions that matter most. The Stoics knew that the path to a virtuous, fulfilling life requires the rejection of external influences. They understood that true contentment comes from within. It wasn't about seeking validation from the crowd. It was about mastering your own mind, your own actions, your own life. Growth in silence is powerful. When you focus on growth in silence, you're not just building your skill set, you're building your character. You're creating a foundation that is built to last, one that doesn't need external validation to thrive. This is the kind of growth that makes you immovable. The quiet work you put in day after day is what will eventually show up in your life in the form of strength, wisdom, and results. It will show up in your actions, your habits, and in the way you approach life. There is no need to announce every step you take. There is no need to explain yourself or seek approval. Your results will speak for themselves. Your consistency, your effort, your determination will be the loudest statement you can make. Success starts in silence. The most successful people understand this. Success doesn't begin with grand gestures. It starts in silence. It starts in the quiet moments, the moments where you choose to push through even when nobody is watching. In those moments, your future is created. When you make the conscious choice to grow in silence, you remove the distractions that drain your energy. You stop comparing yourself to others and you focus on your own journey. You commit to showing up, even when no one notices, even when you're the only one pushing. The true power lies in your ability to remain consistent when the world is silent. The power lies in your ability to focus on what truly matters, to ignore the noise, and to keep your energy aligned with your goals. This journey is about building a quiet, unshakable strength. It's about becoming the person who doesn't need the world's validation to move forward. Your success will be built in silence, in those moments when no one is around to cheer you on, when no one is watching. That's where you'll discover who you really are and what you're truly capable of. When you commit to growing in silence, you begin to understand that true discipline doesn't need an audience. The act of discipline itself is what transforms you. And it's in these private moments that you build the muscle of persistence. You're not waiting for someone to praise you. You're not waiting for someone to acknowledge your effort. You're doing it because you've made a commitment to yourself. And this commitment is not loud. It's quiet, persistent, and unrelenting. It's about getting up every day and doing the work, even when it feels like nobody is watching, even when the world doesn't seem to care about your progress. Every task you complete in silence, every challenge you overcome without needing recognition, it strengthens your ability to remain focused. That's how true discipline is cultivated. The power of growing in silence lies in consistency, in the small, everyday actions you take. These seemingly insignificant moments compound over time, leading to a powerful transformation. You'll begin to notice the change, and so will others. But by then, it won't matter what they say, because you'll already have built the life you're proud of, one quiet action at a time. No one can interrupt your growth but you. When you're committed to growth in silence, no external distractions can hold you back. The world may try to interrupt your progress, but the one person who can stop you from moving forward is you. No external noise can drown out the clarity you have built inside. Many people allow the world to dictate their pace, their decisions, and their actions. They become distracted by the chaos, by the opinions of others, by the expectations that aren't their own. But when you choose to grow quietly, you choose to live by your own rhythm. Your pace is set by you and no one else. It's in these silent moments that you create the foundation for a strong, resilient mindset. You stop letting the outside world dictate your path. You stop reacting to the noise, and instead you start creating your own silence where you can hear your inner voice, your true self. The quiet revolution. Every revolution starts with a few people who are willing to sacrifice the need for attention, in exchange for something much more valuable: personal growth. Revolutions aren't sparked by shouting and crowds. They're sparked by the quiet, consistent efforts of people who are driven by a higher purpose. The change is inevitable because it's grounded in conviction, not in applause. The quiet revolution you create in your life doesn't need anyone's approval. You don't need to announce it to the world. It's already happening within you. And when the time comes, your actions will speak for themselves. Consistency is your secret weapon. As you continue to move forward, step by step, silently building the life you want, you will soon realize that this quiet power is your greatest strength. Living with purpose in silence. Living with purpose is perhaps the most important element of this journey. Without purpose, your growth is like a tree without roots. But purpose gives you direction, focus, and the clarity to stay true to your path. Purpose is what drives you, even when no one else is watching, when there's no immediate reward, and when the journey feels long. Purpose is the anchor that keeps you grounded. It's the fire that keeps you going when everything around you seems uncertain. It's your inner compass, and when you listen to it, you'll find your way through the challenges that the world throws at you. But remember, purpose isn't something you broadcast. It's something you live. It's not about seeking recognition for your efforts. It's about staying true to what you believe in, even when it's hard and even when it's quiet. Don't let anyone disrupt your path. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to let the noise drown out what matters most. But here's the truth. The only voice you need to listen to is your own. Others will come and go, giving their opinions, making suggestions, and sometimes even trying to steer you off course. But the path you walk is yours, and it is not for anyone else to decide. The moment you give in to the noise and let it dictate your direction, you lose control. You stop being the one who's driving your life forward. You stop choosing the life you want, and instead you begin living according to the whims of others. This is why it's so important to grow in silence. Your path needs to remain clear, free from distractions. The moment you start seeking validation or attention, the purity of your journey begins to fade. And the more you stay silent, focused, and consistent, the clearer your direction becomes. Your silence is your strength. When you embrace silence, you're not retreating from the world, you're strengthening yourself. You are building a foundation of unwavering strength and focus that no external factor can take from you. Your silence doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. It's the quiet strength of someone who knows exactly what they want and won't let anything or anyone sway them from their path. It's the strength of someone who doesn't need to convince the world of their worth because they already know it. Embrace your silence. In this world, full of noise, there is no greater power than the strength that comes from within. The more you grow quietly, the stronger you become. And one day, when you've built the life you've always dreamed of, the world will notice. But by then, you won't need their approval. As you continue your journey in silence, you begin to realize that the noise of the world has no power over you anymore. The judgments, the comparisons, the opinions, they all fade into the background as you sharpen your focus and stay true to your mission. Your inner peace becomes the ultimate fortress, protecting you from distractions and outside pressures. Silence isn't just an absence of sound. It's an active choice. It's a space where you get to make decisions without the overwhelming weight of others' voices. It's where you find the clarity to discern what truly matters and what you can ignore. And silence is where growth takes root, and in that quiet you'll build a resilience that cannot be shaken. Every action you take in silence, every small step you take towards your goal adds to your power. At first no one may notice, no one will clap, but the day will come when the fruits of your quiet, consistent work will be visible for everyone to see. Your success won't need to be announced. It will speak for itself. No one can take your peace unless you allow them. The world will try to pull you in different directions, but by growing in silence, you will build the strength to stay on your path. It's easy to get lost in the chaos, to follow the crowd, to listen to everyone else's opinions, but you must learn to trust yourself and your journey. No one knows your purpose better than you do. The more you dedicate yourself to growing in silence, the more your belief in yourself strengthens. You will become unshakable, no longer dependent on external validation. You will rely on your inner belief. You will have nothing to prove to anyone except to yourself. The power to create your own reality. When you focus in silence, you stop reacting to the chaos outside. You stop looking for distractions, and instead, you start creating your own reality. You begin to control your own destiny. This ability to create your reality starts with the inner commitment you make to yourself. Every action you take towards growth is a manifestation of that commitment. Whether you feel like it or not, your discipline, your focus, and your resilience will guide you to success. The silence you create is not a retreat, it is your greatest weapon. It's where you prepare for your next move, where you plan, refine, and adjust. It's where you eliminate unnecessary distractions and focus on what really matters. When you live in this silence, you stop getting caught up in the small things that others get distracted by. Your vision becomes sharper, your goals become clearer, and your future becomes more predictable. The future you build doesn't rely on chance or luck. It relies on your discipline, your consistency, and your ability to stay focused, regardless of what's going on around you. True growth requires a commitment to staying grounded, to staying present. You'll learn to listen to your inner voice, trust your instincts, and make decisions from a place of calm and clarity. You will no longer be swayed by external pressures or the noise around you. Your peace will be unshakable. The world will try to drown you in noise. The distractions will come. The critics will appear. But you have a choice. You can choose silence. You can choose focus. You can choose to rise above the chaos and stay aligned with your true path. The true power lies in staying grounded, in working on yourself when no one is watching, and in trusting the process. Your journey is yours alone, and with each step, you'll realize that the quiet is where you'll find your strength. If you're ready to embrace the quiet and let your work speak for itself, subscribe to this channel. Join us as we continue to explore the Stoic principles of self-discipline, growth, and transformation. Let's build a life of inner strength, silence, and success together. Subscribe now and start your journey towards a more focused, purposeful, and resilient life.